I'll walk you through just a little bit of what happened, just so you know. Um, my father was a naval veteran. He was on Bush's ship in the Navy. So naturally, this certified me as a commodity for the human traffickers in the psychotic areas of Pittsburgh after he abandoned me. There are bars around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania that put up this sign. It's popular in these bars. Any child abandoned here will be sold into slavery. Well, uh, I suffered from such profound head injuries that the Jewish community just scribbled over my face a storyline about what happened. But what really happened was Kasparowski and Pittman and Gudendorf and Ronnie Goldie and Mancini all took turns beating my brains in. And then they found ways to entrap me and like Austria took me, got me very semi-conscious with alcohol when I was 13 years old, and took me to a woman's house on Black Street who used me for her sexual adventure. And a lot of these stories were too frightening for me to tell anybody. I couldn't make sense of them. I was hiding in my towel closet at home. And Pittsburgh was saying, well, the Jewish community was scribbling on my face, this is all perfectly normal. My mother testifies to that. She took me to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said, this is all perfectly normal. It's all your fault. And that's what the Jewish community does. They just scribble on the face of the person they torture. You can see they used to, Wattenmaker was his name, Watt, like Watt, so electricity, no nuclear bombs, Wattenmaker. Put a nerve plasm in here. For King Crimson, I don't know what's happening to my face, it's a mass scratch or something. I'll see the doctor about it. But um, Kay Crimson was behind that. The English, they had a kid around with Billy Rod and Billy Beck and Billy Flynn, who was a foreign English. And Eisen would call me and say, hey, do you want to sneak into this lady's house? She's out of town. So, they would say, the little growing up pranks were proof of involvement with, like they had this dude named Karsh who was apparently involved in 911 and with Gail Burstyn, who wrote these letters. Plus, she was with a magistrate, and they're sickening letters. And the pigs never admit these letters exist. That's why I call them the law enforcement officers never admit these letters even exist. That's how sickening, disgusting. Biden's America is. They a really sickening place. It's a truly, truly deranged and sickening place. Absolutely deranged and sickening. There's nothing redeeming about it. It's deranged and sickening. They tortured me and they lied about it. They lured me into a dare operation. Actually, I was going to stand up for people like myself and say, "How dare you do this?" And they started poisoning me in the mouth and saying it's the black man's revenge on the white man. And they said when they were working with John Schulman, right? Seattle, Washington, as a city, as a culture, as a union, we're working with John Schulman, who was stealing from the Carnegie Museum, and they were paying under the counter for pornography films of someone who they were torturing and holding in captivity, and they're still doing it. They're still getting away with it. Okay, and it was, they say, a dare operation about AIDS because they want to see the scapegoat diseased, and Europe has sold them this. Penis Gabriel was meeting with Putin back in the 80s to tell him, guess what we've done? Guess what we've done? You're going to get off on this, Vlad. And Oliver Stone went and said, Putin, high five. It's working out. And they put out a war zone for a battle royal about it. You want to make something of a queer ball. That's what Migliosi would say. Want to make something of a queer ball. And they got that, Lavrov dude. Oh, what pussies everybody is these days. Everybody's just a pussy these days. I mean, it's absolutely abominable miscarriage of the human race. Absolutely devoid of responsibility. They have this yada yada that dude who's supposedly progressive, right? And he comes Swami Nostra swinging from the trees with George Bush. You surrender to the rescue of climate change. He came to the rescue of flame over Africa, is who came to the rescue. They were saying we must tie the queer bait to these evil Klansmen. That's what they were saying. We must do it. We must do it. And they were monkey wrenching and hot wiring and doing like this here and that there. And Jaime Carbonell was twisting the meters on the linguisticometer, saying, "What's that mean now, Jaime? What's that mean, Jaime?" He was mistranslating everything. And they were reaming girls with carrots in the background, saying, "It's all his doing. It's all his doing. It's all his doing. It's all his doing."